Welcome back, everybody, to the weekend show where I'll be doing technical analysis on stock market. So before we get started, please hit that like button, and 150 likes on this video would be greatly appreciated, guys. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now, if you want to get my daily trade ideas, swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of setups, definitely check out my link down below in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into it, guys. So S&P closes higher for fourth day in a row, not just 4% gain for the week. Lots of things happening back and forth. We got to deal with China. We don't have a deal with China, but do hell with China. Market does not care. Now, people that are shorting the market blindly and talking about crash, what happened? I just want to ask, what happened, guys? And if you want to go back and watch those videos I made last weekend, last Monday, I believe, and there is another video that came out midweek where I said that everybody is full bear, especially when things are going down, and market is not gonna go down when everybody is bear and things are gonna pull back. As a matter of fact, somebody actually compared my analysis with another YouTuber, and comment was like, "Thanks, Corey." Well, I guess if you showed it, you got your pants ripped off right now. It's really bad. What we're trying to do is help people, and especially with my experience, I have seen these moves, big moves to the downside. Big traders, they can get it wrong, guys. They can get it wrong, and I get it. But just because market was down and somebody is bullish on the market, you shouldn't be attacking people. That's really wrong, because market over time only goes up. Only people with brain, they have any brain, they understand concept of how to trade the market and what the market does over time. It usually goes up, right? If you bought um, puts, let's say back in 2022, and you had 4 years of time, are you still up on your position? No. But if you had calls, you're up massively, right? Same thing goes back if you go back to COVID, or even 2007, or even 2002, whatever. Any crisis you bought, it's going up. Even if you buy in the middle, and if you're long term, it's gonna go up. But people just seems like they don't want the market to go up. They want to buy puts and near the lows, and they expect market to come down. So it was really bad to see how some people are actually shorting the market. And that's why you have to go and watch these stock market updates that I did last week and midweek, and you will see what I said in my video. It was actually a longer video, and it was not a good one for a lot of people, because a lot of people, they were busy shorting the market, and we were just going long in the market. I'm still long on a lot of products, like on S&P. I'm long on Dow Jones. I had Nasdaq also. I sold out of that one, but quite a few other positions that I'm long. But also I have some short positions that I took, and these are positions that I took recently, not near the lows. So that is just crazy. People are just going one way and losing more money, then they're shorting again, and the market just pressing higher and higher. Now, if you look at my screen, we got Dow going up today. Well, it's flat. It was down nearly 1%, and now it's flat, up only 20 basis points. Nasdaq, on the other hand, up 1.26%, leading the way. S&P up 0.74%, and Russell also staying flat on the day. 11 sectors that makes up S&P 500. On top, leading the way, consumer cyclical, Tesla led the way, massive rally. Technology, communication services, energy, healthcare, and then we got some of these basic materials, consumer defensive, and these are the ones that are actually down for the day. But if you look at week-to-date performance right here, last week, well, look at this: technology, consumer cyclical, communication services on top. Stock market map. What do we got here on stock market map? Well, Tesla up nearly 10%. Meta also up, big rally. Eli Lilly up. Google up with good earnings, 1.47%, gave up some of the gains. It was outside the Bollinger Band, so it came back. Amazon up over 1%. Apple up close to 0.5%. But look at right here, Nvidia up over 4%. Microsoft also going up 1.18%. And that is why Russell is down. You can see some of these financial names are down for the day. But overall, if you look at it, from these lows, we actually had a great bounce in the market. And now we got to be really cautious moving forward because we might see another rug pull that is coming very soon here in the market. So let's look at S&P and see what we can see there. On SPY ETF, it's up 0.72%. So a lot of things are happening in the market. Well, at least today we got some news from Trump, and it did not really work out. We saw a bit of a pullback, but it didn't work out. But biggest thing I want to show you guys that on this daily time frame, even on weekly, we got the breakout. Finally, it's a breakout from this downtrend on this daily time frame. Now the question is it going to move higher up to this gap? Maybe up to this high, 564, 65, and then it will just give up all the gains? Or this is actually the real deal? Now, I'm not going to say that right now because what I would like to see we close over next week, especially right here, 543. And you saw that pullback today down to 543. It did hold here and pressed higher over this previous high from this 90-day pause candle, 548, and we got up to 551. So I think Monday, you know, if there is some good news, maybe we get to see some sort of a mini gap up, or from here we can possibly just slowly grind up and move up to this gap, 555. And this is where you'll find a lot of resistance and a lot of bears that are smart. Maybe they want to go and short right here. These bears that I talked about at the beginning of my video, these are dumb bears. They shorted near the lows, and most likely most of them, even the one that actually made comment in my video calling me thank you Corey, I guess he was bullish as well. So comparing with him, and obviously my technical analysis and somebody else's is totally different. Different people have different approach. He probably got squeezed out already and lost all the money on that massive rally to the upside. Now, so next week, yes, I'm still bullish. Am I going to go and chase this? Absolutely not. Cautiously bullish for next week. And what you're seeing on my thumbnail is this breakout. Now, is this the real deal or this is actually a fake out? Now, last time we can go back to weekly time frame. This was the right here 2022 bear market, right? So we had these types of moves where market dropped, and then 2 weeks. I mean, look at this right here. From 419, it got up to 458. Obviously, this move is bigger, but then it continued down again. And especially when you get the death cross and still trading below daily 200 SMA. So there is lots of things. Yes, we're still in a monthly downtrend. We have the MACD crossing over. You can see right here. Last time it happened here back in 2022, we had almost 1 year of that bear market. Now, is it gonna be same? I don't know, but we do have that cross taking place, this month, and so far we're just bouncing. Yes, we do have a massive monthly hammer, but we still got a few more days left, and then on daily, yes, it did cross over, so things are pushing even higher. So that is your longer time frame. We're still in a downtrend monthly, but daily somehow we are breaking out and it's looking promising. Now, one more thing I want to look at, guys, and especially if we get some sort of a pullback next week, I want to give you guys every tools that I can give you going into next week. So let's say this is your key line in the sand here. If things pull back and it needs to hold this line right here, low, a higher low, where could be another higher low. If we get a pullback, maybe down to this five, you know, this not gonna be a higher low. This would be a soft higher low, but 543, your key line in the sand for Monday session. If we open under that or it goes below that when the market opens, it can possibly come down to 535, maybe even closes this gap and shakes out more weak hands or weak bears right here, and then it pushes higher. So that is the thing that I'm watching. But if you're trying to chase this move, I would say stay away. If you're chasing this and if you're shorting this, definitely you have to know when to get out, because this is your zone. If this thing closes over 555, it's gone. And why I said I have to see and I need more confirmation. Well, next week, what I would like to see, SPY closing over this breakout range. Even if we come back and retest some of these levels, maybe even close this gap, I would like to see it over this trend line. That would be the confirmation of a daily and possibly even weekly breakout. And we might be going higher from here. And a bottom is in, not the bottom. Now, let's talk about triple Q because this one is far ahead. You can see we got the initial breakout. Actually, that was on Wednesday. We had a follow through day yesterday, and things just continued ballistic today. Look at this move. 473 almost closing at the high of the day. So this is looking extremely bullish. Yes, that is going up on some low volume, which I don't like to see, but that's what we're getting, right? We had earnings from Google. It was a mini gap up, then it kind of faded, came back up, and it was going sideways for first couple hours of trading, and then it just calls coming in. If you have the traded tick spots, you would know that there were a lot of calls, heavy, volume calls coming in, and things were just pushing higher. So if this is actually the real deal, I would like to see, low and then a higher low. We got a high, and today we got a higher high. So yes, higher lows and higher highs are forming on this daily time frame. We need more confirmation, and the next big resistance to watch to the upside would be 478 if we can get there next week. On a pullback, your key line in the sand for Monday session, and you can see it on hourly time frame. It was coming back, but that 468 range so far holding, you can see right here, that needs to break. That's going to be your key line in the sand for Monday. Underneath that, you might see a push down to 465 and then 460, and then we can talk about this gap that can come into play, and that would be a nice opportunity if somehow we come back down here to close this gap or maybe even close to the gap. Sometimes, we talked about it in my video, runaway gap, guys. These are runaway gaps. It broke out and never came back. Some of these runaway gaps you will see back in 2022, and we still have those gaps open. Does that mean we're going to go and close those? No. So even if it comes back, let's say it pulls in 460 or maybe even 5-day moving average 455, that's your opportunity to catch this move. Not right now where things are already up. I mean, look at this move. People think like, oh, I'm a bear and I'm just gonna make money. Look at what you missed out on just being a stupid bear, because look at this. That's 18%. 18%. And if you count by dollars, look at this. That's nearly 71, $72 worth of a move on Triple Q. And you know how much money that is. And we're still on SPY with that, massive move. We did not catch 70 bucks, but we got about 50, and I think that is enough. We got IWM, we got into DIA today, a mini position on DIA because that could be a catch-up trade because of that gap to the upside, right? So on DIA, let's talk about DIA here for a minute. You can see this one definitely not retesting the trend line, and that is due to one big stock, UNH, not really helping. We got some of the other names, Apple not really going up in a big way, and that's why DIA is lagging. So you can call this, somewhat of a consolidation, but yes, low, higher low. We just need a confirmation breakout over this high, which is 408. If that happens, guys, game on. If SPY is going and closing that gap, this one will likely to go here, and that's why we took a position today near the lows today on DIA. And I think if this thing comes down to 392 next week, if that happens, then definitely, I'll possibly even add more to my position. So DIA did not break out, so that could be a catch-up trade as long as it can hold. And the same thing, watch I mean, if this comes back and closes the gap here and then pushes higher and possibly takes out this high 408, then it will retest this trend line, which is going to be at 412, and then the gap fill at 416. To the downside, now Monday, key level of support 400. Underneath that, we got these moving averages right here, 395, and the gap at 392. And from there, it can come down all the way down to 388. And I don't think it's going to go down that much unless we get some really bad news again. Then yes, things can pull down and possibly go down more from here, right? Now, Russell, that's another one lagging behind because there are no news of a rate cuts yet. But you can see nicely just, I mean, look at this nice low and a higher low here. And now today, we definitely took up this candle. Actually, not today, Wednesday. We got some follow through today. It was down, but you can see that dip was bought up and closed over 193, the key zone here. So I think you can push up to this gap early as next week. And that's why I have a long position here on IWM, which is 190 calls. It's already over the money. We sold half of the position and still holding half of the position. And I think it can go over 200 if the rally continues. And that's why, people that are just losing money right and left, shorting, I mean, why would you go and short, the market? Market was down. I mean, Qs was down big. It was down nearly 25, 30%. And you're just going to go and short because you saw the volatility. It was going down 25, $30, where I actually called out my, Patreon members and I said, a day like today is not going to come too often. It's once in a lifetime opportunity. And look at how it's gone. It's gone. It's completely gone. And many trades that I did not even put out in my swing trade channel, in my daily trade channel. And why? Because there were so many trades. You guys saw that video that I posted. And as a matter of fact, a lot of you guys were asking why there is no video for the last, 2, 3 days. Well, I was just taking some time off, relaxing, because even this week, you guys saw that video. We made a killing. And now we're just holding some positions long and just relaxing, taking my time off. And that's why I'm coming back Friday night. Weekend is here to give you guys more guidance. Now, if you're a hater and you don't like, just because you're wrong, and, I called out that, market will rally from here, and market rallied. Just because of that, you're hating on my channel and you're hating on somebody else's channel, because they were also bullish. It just don't make sense. I mean, you know, these things happen all the time. Near the lows, guess what? A lot of us retail traders, investors, we get extremely bearish, like, oh, run for the door. As a matter of fact, I have a guy who texted me in the Discord and telling me, like, hey, I think the market is going to crash. I'm going to get out. I'm going to get out. He's not a Patreon member, so no response. I'm not going to say anything. I don't give out advice to unknown people. I'm like, you do whatever you want to do. But on YouTube, I'm always honest with you guys, telling you guys what's coming next, what could be, market's next move. Yes, I could be wrong, but when you have years of experience, and you traded so many times throughout, years with these type of moves, you know what's coming next. So here on IWM 193, your key line in the sand for Monday session. Underneath that, we might be filling this gap, and that will be an opportunity. 188, 193 can hold. We're filling that gap right here, 196.54, and over 198 is heading even higher up to 202, and maybe even higher from here. Now let's talk about VIX. It's down over 6% once again. And did we close the gap today? We did not. So there is a gap just under 24, and it's almost there. We need like $1 to close that gap to the downside. Now, another thing I want to point out, guys, right here, you can see this thing is just coiling up inside this wedge. So what if there is a breakout, just like we had that breakout here? It was the wedging. I just took it off. I'm going to take it off here. And then we saw that massive pump. So next week, you got to be really careful, especially buying into this rally. You need to wait. You got to be, really, you just have to have patience next week. If you don't have that and you're FOMOing into that rally, you're gonna end up holding it back. Just like These people, they're holding a bag, or some people lost money shorting at the bottom. Now, if you're chasing with the FOMO, you're going to be holding a bag as well. So market, it's really hard to navigate when you're wrong the first time. The second time, you're going to go chase. And you don't want to repeat that. If you lost the money, don't go and chase buying now. You just wait for the next opportunity. And if you wait, you might be able to recover that loss. Now, you can see it just coiling up here. And so far, I mean, we did not hold 30 bucks. And I talked about it before that I would like to see it below 30, and that's going to trigger that rally. Also, it's under 26. So the next critical support I see right here, which is holding, that's 24.85. Right here, you can see right on my screen. This was that previous rejection, and that's where it's holding. And it might find some support right here at 23 to 24. Underneath that, you're going to see more dump off on VIX down to 20. And if this thing goes under 20, bull market will be back and rising again. So next week, I would like to see what this thing does. If this thing getting some sort of, I mean, it's one almost pretty much since the top, 1, 2, 3, 4 days down. And if you look at my screen, after being down for a few days, maybe it actually closes this gap down here and then spikes back up to the upside. So now 26 breaks, you might see a push up to this 5-day moving average, 28 to even 30. And over 30, you're talking about a big breakout that's going to take place once again on VIX. So be very careful next week, where the market is going and how the market is pressing higher. And if you can wait, like I said, you will be rewarded here in the market and you will make a good money. That is my humble opinion to people that are actually trying to trade this market and now trying to chase this market also. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated going into Monday night.